So my father, he's kind of a bigwig in our town. He owns one of the biggest businesses around. So he tried to set my brother up with a surprise blind date from another very successful family in town. Well, guess what? My brother says he's not going on a date with this girl because she's not up to his standards. So now they're forcing me to go on the date. Well, you know what? I'll go on it, and I'll make the best out of it. Life sometimes smiles at us in strange ways, and I don't want to say that it doesn't happen to me, but, well, I guess I'll just tell you my story. My brother Alex and I both work at our dad's company. While Alex has handled the reins of the business quite well, as he's been trained for it his whole life. On my side, let's say I do it more out of obligation. It's one of the biggest companies in town, so our family's always in the public eye, with every party and every outing being monitored by the press. That's why, if Dad tells us that we must go to such an event and shake hands with everybody there, we just swallow our pride and do it. I've grown tired of all the times Dad shares a couple of beers with the mayor, only for him to tell us the next day about how the man is a good-for-nothing idiot. Anyways, I do everything they ask me to do without complaining because I know that being contrary can be fatal. But I dare say that the only person who knows this better than me is Alex, precisely. He's Dad's right-hand man because he knows that someday the family's business will, depend on him. So he can't afford to fool around. In that sense, I think that his life plan has been very sad. To then remember his personality, and that's why this story is taking place. Dad had a conversation with us, saying that he had set Alex up on a date with the daughter of one of his best friends. He said the girl was nice, even though that he's never seen her before in his life, and that he could make a good match with Alex. He showed us a picture of her, and well, there are times when I'm not proud of Alex's brother. Well, he was drinking strawberry juice, and it almost came out of his nose when he saw the girl. He starts laughing his butt off and then asks if this was a joke. My father is not a joking man when it comes to work, and we knew what this date was for. It would not be a casual meeting. We both thought so. Alex, again with pride in his throat, said that he would have no problem. After the conversation, 2 hours after we made everything clear, he appeared at my office with the attitude of a good brother. He asked me if I had time to talk, and God, why did I say yes? He started going on and on about Dad's idea with his friend's daughter. Her name is Sia. Yeah, like the singer. And that he would not go out with her. At first, I did not understand him. But then he said, "Look at her." Then he showed me the picture, which was a picture of, I assume it was her, with high school softball team. The truth is, she didn't look that graceful or sharp from what little you could see because the photo was blurry, like it was taken on an already printed picture. She had red hair, glasses that looked like bottle caps, and a nice row of teeth covered in braces that made her look like a rapper's diamond teeth. He then said, "You really think I'd date something like this?" I told him, "Don't be rude. Maybe she wasn't the most graceful girl in the world, but I had to remember that the picture had been from years ago, so she might have changed and gone through a good puberty." He told me he doubted that, and that usually tycoons make appointments like that with their partner's children to, quote, guarantee that their daughter can give them heirs without resorting to paying others explicitly. In that sense, I felt as if I were living in the Middle Ages, where marriages were arranged based on the parents' decisions, with no possibility for the couple to have a say in the matter at all. No love, no feelings, pure filthy self-interest. However, although I understood the intention of the elders, I found it very unpleasant that Alex referred to the girl in that way. So he told me to go out with her instead, and I asked him why. He told me to do it because he didn't want to turn down making good friends with the daughter of a colleague. Then he started pulling things out of me like, who knows, you might be a good match. As Dad said, and I said, well, then why don't you give her a chance? Well, please, little brother, look at her. She's not in my league. Don't make me start spelling it out for you. Yeah, while it was disgusting how he referred to the girl like he did, I didn't want to take her place. Mind you, while I defend the girl, I'm not saying she's objectively attractive. And that's when Alex got serious. He told me that it did not help him. He might as well take certain considerations once he was the owner of the company if I don't help him now. When I asked him what he meant by that, he just told me that he didn't want me to find out the hard way, and I could avoid everything just by dating her. I sighed and told him that if I had no other choice, I would do it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I had to date and go on her with the defense of the softball team from 10 years ago. Gosh, I can't believe my luck. Now, I know Alex has his limits, but to say that somebody else isn't up to his standard, I think is already overstepping. He tends to hit on pretty girls with giant breasts, and I haven't seen him with his first girl with D cups or less, so she would not be on his radar. All I ask is that at least the girl is grown up enough to have improved a bit and be nice, or at least give me good conversation so I don't take it the wrong way when I tell her it was better just to have an outing. It's not that I'm a heartbreaker, it's just that the fact that this is a business deal kills the excitement a little. Anyways, guys, I'll let you know what happens. What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here, so we do have an update to hop into, and something weird happens right off the bat. If you guys have not had a second to subscribe to the channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button right now underneath the video so you never miss a juicy story. Alright guys, here is update number 1, and it starts off with saying, okay, this is weird. But, not a bad weird, but a good weird, I guess. Let me explain. I just got back home from my date with Sia. We went to a not-so-cheap restaurant as a blind date, and she went in a very nice yellow dress which oddly enough matched her. Although, look, I'm going to be honest with you, my taste in women are not the most specific in the world. After this date, I realized that I've never had an opinion about it in my 28 years of life. But when I saw her, while I didn't think she was that pretty, at least there were a couple of things in her favor. First, the dress had a subtle yet very elegant design at the seams. The hairstyle did not suit her. The wires in her teeth did not suit her either, and those glasses, gosh, the glasses. While I will admit she had better skin now than in the photo, which was very blurry, I repeat, I could tell she had a face full of freckles. She has red hair, and in the photo it looked like she was the victim of a pretty bad acne breakout, when in reality it was freckles everywhere. I don't think I've ever seen such a freckled person in my life, but hey, at least I acted natural after seeing her. We introduced ourselves, ordered food, and started talking about one another, and that's the second point I wanted to get to, and what made me run over here to write right after the evening. Sia is incredibly charismatic, gosh. Now, I realize that I don't like the woman for her physique, no, but for what she has in her head. What she says in the moment. I mean, she's funny, articulate, playful, and very, very intelligent. I think she's the most intelligent and outgoing woman I've ever seen in my life. And because of that, we had a spectacular evening. I can't remember the last time I had such a good time with somebody, and I feel that it was the same for her. She was also self-conscious about her looks, saying that maybe she wasn't the prettiest woman in the world and that she understood that was the reason Alex did not go. I clarified what he and I had agreed that, quote, he was swamped last night, so he might as well go out with her because I was interested in doing it too. I know, I bent over backward to agree to say that. I hate you, Alex. But in the end, it ended up being something totally different than what I imagined. It was a great conversation, the food was great, and well, maybe it's too early to say these things, but I loved her voice. I loved her laugh. It made me feel really good. It's hard to explain it. I don't want to bore you guys with cheesy stuff either, but we agreed to have another outing next week. I could in just a couple of days, but apparently her schedule is full, and we can only see each other next Sunday night. Something that seemed oddly quite specific, although what matters to me is to keep talking to her. Oh yeah, and you want to know the most tragic-comic thing about it? We talked all night and had such a good time, and we forgot to even exchange numbers to keep in touch. We were having a wonderful time ignoring everything around us. Update number 2. Alex may be a monster in business, but when it comes to picking women, he's absolutely the worst. I just had one of the strangest and luckiest situations of my life happen to me. You see, I've been a little hazy with updates because I've been dating these past few weeks with Sia. It's been 2 months since our first date, and we've only met 5 times. But I came to write you guys because on our last visit at her house, things escalated just a bit. And there was a plot twist, let me tell you all about it. I'm still shaking with excitement. Well, we were at her house, a pretty big place, and we were talking a bit more intimately, and the truth is that despite how little that we've seen each other, we've talked every night about any topic. She asks me questions, I answer, vice versa. And she says that she enjoys my company, and she thought it was strange that I wanted to keep dating her. Because of all this not very physically graceful crap. And that's when she revealed to me, well, her real her. Don't ask me how she did it, but by taking some clips out of her hair, I think they were extensions, her hairstyle changed completely. Bada bing, bada boom. Then she took off her glasses and some braces from her mouth, putting them in a little box that she pulled out of her pocket. Guys, the girl in front of me was nothing like the girl I've been dating. Now, with a different haircut, the glasses that made her look more bug-eyed, and the wires in her mouth that made her look bulky, she was almost like a magazine model. She asked me to excuse her for a moment while she took a pad and removed something from her face. Her freckles. Her freckles were fake, leaving smooth skin but still covered with makeup. Well, that change looked so impressive that I thought it was a hidden camera prank. My God! It's just that even her voice changed, I won't lie to you. She told me this is her real appearance and that this was the first time that she got her attention. It was then that she explained that she keeps that look every time she goes out with someone. As her father is a business tycoon, there are many men interested in her for different reasons. But when they see what she looks like, they're scared away, not going beyond her appearance. At that moment, I thought about Alex and about how everything this girl said seemed to be, well, not so far from reality. Just like him, many suitors were scared off when they saw the girl right off the bat. I find it rather curious that I found her attractive. She did not understand it at first, but she saw that I wasn't bothered with her when she told me the truth. It's sad because even having all this money, men weren't interested in me. That's why I avoid going out very little and I keep my social networks private. The photo I'm most often referenced from is that awful picture from when I was in high school. That's what she told me. Oh, who's going to tell on you for that? We looked at the softball pitcher and we both laughed. I understood what she was telling me, but that did not make me feel any better. She told me that it was the first time there was somebody who was truly interested in, not her physique, her brain. And that's why she decided to tell me the truth, knowing that we would go to the next level. I won't give any more details about what happened that night. Some things are best kept private, but I can say now without a shadow of a doubt that I like this girl. I know it sounds like a Saturday morning movie story, but I can't describe it any better. My dad was quite surprised when I told him that I like her. He wasn't too upset with Alex as we pretended that upon seeing the picture, I was the one who asked him about Sia. And as far as her, well, she's very happy to finally get this whole charade over with, and she tells me that if things go well, we might as well have a little trip to the beach, where they have a summer house. I mean, I like small destinations, but if she insists, hey, who am I to refuse such an invitation? I'll update you guys. Update number 3. Hey everybody, so I'm back with yet another update for you. I'm writing to you from the vacation I told you about some time ago. Sia is asleep, and I came here to just write this because I can't contain myself. It seems as if I only write to you when some revelation happens, but this one may be even more shocking than the last one. Well, now, while we were talking on the beach, Sia made a revelation to me, and that is that her father is not only one of my dad's best friends, but he's also his top investor, and that he is also an active investor of at least 30 businesses inside of the city, from a law firm to some ice cream parlors downtown. I mean, he has his hand in everything. But the guy is not the biggest piece of the puzzle of them all, and therefore I would not exaggerate when I say that he could be one of the richest people in the entire city or state. This is crazy because although it is known that his family has a lot of money, the truth is that the amount that one can assume pales in comparison to what it actually can be. That's another reason why some men were interested in Sia, but none of them could pass the physique filter. How pathetic. If Alex ever found out about that, I'm sure he would explode with envy. I don't know if he genuinely enjoys his job or not, but having all this power would be enough for him to retire early. Sia told me that once her father passes away, everything is going to be passed down to her. And all I could say was, wow. I'll confess something, and that's that indeed she and I are very much in love. We already have confirmed that on this trip, as we have eaten together, walked together, slept together, and even went to a club where we could dance the night away. I have not told you, but I was not born with 2 left feet. I was born without any feet to dance at all. That girl took me to the dance floor as if I were her puppet. We arrived home a little inebriated and slept half the day hugging each other. Alex doesn't even know about Sia's physical change, and if he finds out, he'll have another heart attack. Sorry for talking so much about my brother. It's just that this all seems so coincidental. If he had not declined the invitation, she and I would not have met. Or worse, if he had accepted, he would have been just another guy in the bunch. So she would have bounced him instantly. Then nobody would have been happy, and when she asked me what I wanted to do in the future, she was pleased to hear about my dream of starting a small restaurant in the town. I've always been passionate about food. It's like my hidden hobby, as very few people know about it, and I would leave Dad's job in a heartbeat if I could, as I feel I won't achieve something there that can fulfill me enough. I apologize for not being a man with such strong ambitions, but she found it all cute. So cute, in fact, that she blurted out a rather risque comment. It would be funny, a wedding between you and me, don't you think? I don't know if this has happened to the male audience, but when they mention wedding or marriage, an alert goes off in our brain. I won't say it's a red alert or a bad alert or... No, oh, the contraire, a realization that something big is about to happen. Getting together with her, well, I don't see it as bad. It's, well, not bad. I wouldn't say no to a union between our families. The truth is, though, although it's hard for me not to see it, the monetary side gives a lot of weight to the issue. Our parents have a lot of money, and we could well be one of the most powerful families in the state, so that's what changed the life I have had or aspire to have, and of course it would be better for me, in case this union is achieved, to be the first one to take the step forward and not stay asleep while she's the one who has the pants in the relationship. I wouldn't mind, but hey, I feel it's more of a matter of principle. I'm going to see if I can plan an engagement meeting without her knowing. I don't know, maybe on her next birthday, which will be in a couple of months, or when it's already a year since we met, which will be 5 months from now. Either way, I know it'll be something huge, and I hope she'll hold out just a little bit until I can organize everything without her knowing about it. I may not have a very high personal ambition, but when it comes to giving a gesture to the person that I love the most, I will not let her off the hook very easily. Update number 4. Possibly this story will end here. I don't know, but if so, it would not be with a very satisfying ending, as all the pieces fit together to make our commitment ceremony the craziest night of our lives. Sia says it too. You and I have been very invested in this relationship, so you deserve to know what happened. Well, as I told you months ago, I decided to do the engagement ceremony without Sia knowing. And while it did not go exactly how I wanted, at least it was able to have a twist that gave me a lot of laughter. In a sort of revenge kind of way. You see, I set the whole thing up months after the anniversary we met. I didn't really want to be eager about it, and it was attended by a large portion of our friends and a portion of our family. More on her side than mine, so the night was set up to make it a full-on celebration at the foot of the rule. The decorations, the food, the lights, the whole theme. There were even people invited externally to give the feeling that it wasn't something specifically between her and me. But everybody was well aware of this. Everybody except for Alex. Guys, the truth is, I had not spoke to Alex again in a long time. He stopped coming to my office after the whole outing thing with Sia. He still thought that she was ugly, and that's why he was surprised when he heard about the event. Of course, he was also on some business trips with father, so they weren't aware of anything. When they arrived at the event, they saw that I was showing up with a now beautiful Sia, with whom I had already been in a relationship with now for a little over a year. Yeah, it may seem odd to you guys, but when you're in a business family like I am, you'd be surprised how much information those men forget in their day-to-day lives. I always say that if it wasn't for Alex having a beard, Dad would mix our names up. Anyways, everything went along as usual, and Sia pouted when she saw Alex, for he was giving off airs of the kind of man she always met, and he was now looking at her, because now she was out of the facade that she kept for oh so long. There was a moment in the evening when I excused myself to go to the bathroom. I didn't realize at the time that Alex was following right behind me, toe for toe, until we both ended up at the front desk. He asked me what that was all about. I told him the reason for the evening, and as if it was a speech I've been rehearsing for months, he began to speak to me in a very rapid-fire manner. He told me several things, using his corporate convincing power to try to make me understand that, quote, Sia was supposed to be with him. Yep, just as you just read it. Apparently, that sexy girl was supposed to be with him as a husband, since they were both heirs to the greatest wealth in the city, and that by being with me, we would only have one of two parties. I told him that he was telling me something very low. I mean, I had been in a relationship with her for a year, and he thought I was going to throw it all away for money? I mean, this is after he threatened to fire me when I wasn't going to go on that date with her in the beginning. Anyways, I called him names and told him that he's a despicable human being, and he told me I was acting very childish. I told him no, that I was in Dad's job only because we were always being compared to each other, and I wanted to prove that I had my own value as an individual too. Eventually, I stayed because of the tedium of not having to look for another job, and because I've gotten used to the monotonous day-to-day. But he kept insisting on this letting him stay with Sia. There came a point where I just outright told him no, that I really liked her to the point of asking her for her hand in marriage. And what do you think? Sia showed up with her friends and her cousin to where I was, and with tremendous force, Alex slapped her while one of the girls was filming. For a moment, Alex seemed to consider something he would regret, but I stepped in and he left crying. I'm not lying, my brother, the business genius who never lost his charm, left in tears defeated. Sia and I talked, and she told me that she had overheard part of the conversation, holding out her hand for me to put the ring on. It did not end up going the way she wanted, but it's a way that we'll remember. You know, the evening is going to be remembered for the rest of our lives. I'm sure Alex will, at least. Right now, we're planning the wedding, although it was about to start a family feud between Sia's father, who was upset with my dad because of Alex's attitude and his original rejection of his daughter. After a few conversations, bad things passed, and the two of them got back together again. I don't know if you guys have heard a crazier story than this, but I assure you that the only thing that isn't crazy about this at all is the love I have for my future wife. It just feels weird to say, but I'll get used to it eventually. Final update. So, guess who's already parents? Yep, it sounds pretty crazy when you look back on it, but I guarantee things are going great here at home. Our son ended up being named after his grandfather, Sia's dad, and we could not be happier about it. I stopped writing updates because of the little free time I had to do it. This parenting thing is not easy. It consumes a lot of your time, and you have to be on call 24/7. About the companies, well, Sia's father, seeing that starting a family could become quite cumbersome, made his daughter advance to one of the top positions in the investment chains, to the point where she could make her own moves, and among the first, she decided to bet on who she had next to her. If you don't understand what I'm saying, I'll just tell you that you'll be able to taste my stews very soon in my city. In my new restaurant. That's right, I decided to leave my father's company just to start my own managing restaurant. And we already are in the process of remodeling it since it's an old building for sale in a very wealthy shopping center. We're very excited about the project and our parents are jumping with excitement. As for Alex, he quit Dad's company. I don't know if it was out of embarrassment or because he didn't like it, but I know he was hurt by the outcome of the whole story. Videos were circulating of the slap Sia gave him at the ceremony, and although it gave me some cringe just remembering it, she loved it. As if it was her calling card to the outside world, as everybody said, she's got that fire. Well, I thought that she was ugly, and now she's not only beautiful, guys, but beautiful and powerful. That's right. I have no shame in saying this. It's Sia who wears the pants in the relationship. That's right, guys, I'll admit it. She's very smart and so far has managed to make thousands from her investments. When her father leaves her the entire company, I'm 100% sure that she'll be able to triple her investments. In the meantime, I'll be running the restaurant, which, like a child, will demand a lot of time and commitment. What else can I say about this situation? What is the big moral? Live and let live? Don't judge a book by its cover. Be yourself. Well, whichever one of those you choose, I'm just keeping and passing. Enjoying all of this as long as the body holds out. Well, I don't know. This story was so crazy. I mean, Alex, first of all, is one of the most shallow people I've ever read about. I mean, the fact that he wouldn't even entertain the idea of going on the date with this girl because apparently she doesn't live up to his expectations. And then the next thing you know, he's trying to get back with her after he realizes that she's way more beautiful than that picture led her to believe. Anyways, I do want to know everybody's perspective listening out there, what you would have done if you were in OP's position, and I'm talking about the start of the story. Would you have gone on this date, or would you have said, you know what, I don't want any part of it either? Let's talk about it down below, guys. My name's Mr. Reddito. I narrate stories like this every day, and if you guys want to be a part of it, all you have to do is subscribe, hit those bell notification icons as well. Guys, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow, and of course, remember, it's cool to be kind. Peace.